Welcome to another episode of the Epic Family Road Trip.
Good morning. It's 2:50 in the morning, actually. And my sister Beth and I are taking Caroline to the airport. So she has I think a 5 o'clock flight. So we're heading to Portland to drop her off. Good morning. So I believe all of us will be leaving today, heading back down to Arizona. So Beth and Jason have made it so nice for us here while we had Christmas and said goodbye to my mother. And now we are going to adventure on. Look at that moon. Hey Lando, I know you want to go with Caroline. Come on. You want to come say bye to Caroline? Come on. Only Caroline's going now. No, that's her bag. I think he knows someone's leaving. Come here. I actually was sleeping, yeah. I always slept better than I have on a cold night, so. But at least today's warm. Yeah, about 3:01. We're on time. Just like that, she's gone. Gonna miss her.
Alright guys, we are on I-5 heading south. We're leaving Oregon and heading back, making the long journey back to Arizona to reunite with all our other vehicles that we left down there. This morning though, when we took off, we noticed we had a slow leak in the rear driver's side tire. So I think we hit a nail and punctured the tire. It's got a slow leak. You can see it's that just happened overnight from proper pressure to that. So we're here at Les Schwab getting it patched done. We do have a patch kit, but we want to get a proper, patch put on the inside because it is a truck and you want it done properly. But if we were out in the field and this happened, we do have an ARB patch kit and we could definitely take care of it. We also have dual compressors and we can pump it back up. But since we're in town, we're getting this fixed. They have incredible service. They're a tire repair company and they fixed the tire at no charge. They put a patch on it, and so we're back on the road. So also early this morning, Carol and Caroline and Beth got up really early and drove Caroline into the airport, and she texted us she just arrived back home in Toronto, so she's good. And we just went and picked up Pete's laptop. It had to go out for repairs, but we've got that back. So we and we stopped in at Grandpa's place to say bye to him before leaving. So I think our business is complete here in Oregon for now, so come with us. We're gonna head south to back to Arizona. It's gonna take us a couple of days. We're doing the I-5. On the way up we came through Nevada, now we're going down the coast. The weather's gonna be hopefully a little warmer. We won't run into any snow in the mountains and all that, but we're prepared. We have chains now, and yeah, we're good to go. Good morning, guys. We have just crossed into California. You can see partially obscured by clouds, but you can see Mount Shasta in the background. It's just a beautiful area. We've just come through the Siskiyous, or we're still in them. It's a mountain range that kind of separates California from Oregon. But yeah, we're making our way south. We're kind of on making it a fast trip down I-5 rather than taking our time through the down the coast, which is what we preferred. But because we went to a funeral, we jammed everything into the one truck, so it's kind of a makeshift setup. Typically, if we're traveling, the boys would have their own vehicle and we'd have a lot more room. So with that in mind, we're kind of racing back to the Jeeps and the bikes, and then we'll get back into more camping. So we have about 14 hours of driving ahead of us, and we're just gonna put the pedal to the metal. But I'll tell you one thing, driving this truck through the mountains is a breeze. We just have unlimited power, it seems, and it's quiet and comfortable, so we're loving it. Hey guys, we're at a place called Harris Ranch in California. It's one of our favorite places to get a steak. We stop here pretty much every time, so over the last 8 years, at least 6 or 7 times. But we're celebrating New Year's Eve coming up in a few days. We're halfway, or actually we're 2/3 of the way back to Arizona. So we're gonna enjoy a beautiful steak here as a family, and we'll see you soon. But I hope you have a wonderful New Year's Eve and a great celebration. And we have a brand new year coming up, so we're super excited about that.
If you want a slice, I can give you one.
Good morning. We had a great sleep here at the Harris Ranch. Just slept in the truck, and they have free RV parking here, so that's something to keep in mind if you're heading down I-5 going south. You see in the background there's quite a few rigs parked overnight. They have 24-hour security. It's really a great place to get a good night's sleep. So, and to get a really good meal like we had last night. So this morning we're just gonna fuel up. There's a fuel station right here and get back on the I-5 going south. And then I think around LA we head east out to Arizona. Let's go. Alright, it has been a long day. The sun is going down. We're still in the truck driving along. We're about an hour from our camp and just crossed into Arizona, so we're excited about that. We see the end of the tunnel coming up. The traffic in the whole Southern California area, as usual, was pretty stop and go and congested, but we made it. So looking forward to getting back and getting off the road for a few hours, resting our legs and maybe going on a nice big hike in the desert. I know that's what Lando wants to do, right, Lando? Yes, you do. You want to go for a hike. Good morning. We are back in Arizona, off the road. Had a great night's sleep. We're hoping in this week's video to recap on some of our favorite moments of 2023 and talk a little bit about the upcoming year 24. Hey guys, so it is almost 2024. This is the last day of 2023 and it was quite a year. We say that every year, but a lot went down. It was a pretty amazing year for us as a family. We were up at the lake and we had just really fulfilled a family dream of spending Christmas there, and it was super cozy.
Magical.
Yeah, magical Christmas. Being on the island and having the privilege of not having the distraction of the outside world. We were completely on our own, and so we had to make it work with what supplies we had, and then foraged for decorations and things like that off the island. So anyway, that was an amazing time. So the new year kicked in and we continued an incredible time off the grid at the island, and that went right till about May.
What was your favorite part?
Of the new year was learning how to catch trout, and I caught that big trout. That was like one of those moments. It's like, yes, I can feed my family if I had to. And then watching, the ice melt off, that was incredible. And just seeing the birth of a brand new spring,
Yeah, you had a lot of hope in that spring, I think, more than just the average year of, everything being easy, and just working together as a family made you appreciate everything, even that much more.
Yeah. And
during that time, that Pete was catching his trout, one of my fondest memories was I got my hunting license. I was really excited about that. So yeah, that's something I wanted to pursue and practice over the years. But then we moved on. We did a couple trips after that, after the ice melted.
Yeah. The boys were there, and we headed up as far north as you can drive in the eastern part of North America, way up to James Bay. We camped along James Bay. That was an incredible experience. And then we drove to what's called the end of the road down the Trans-Taiga, and got ourselves as far as you can get by road from civilization.
And that was neat.
That was a neat adventure.
We even had a wolf come by our camp.
A big wolf walk into camp at night, and saw tons of wildlife, like big Canadian lynx and all kinds of animals. So yeah, that was a great way to kick off the spring. Another real cool thing is that Dan started his own channel. We're super happy about that. We've been encouraging him for some time to do that, and he took the bold leap, and a lot of you are enjoying Dan Van Stralen's channel, and he continues to create content, and that's been a great creative outlet for him, and he can sustain himself, which is every parent likes to see. Pete, at the same time, took off on a trip as a cinematographer for the Overland team, and they went to Southern Africa. Pete will be talking more about that trip in this video.
After that, we put together some gardens, a must check before we left. Built another one because we really want to be more like
self-sufficient.
Exactly. Before we headed off on our anniversary, our 25th anniversary trip, going across the United States and to Oregon, actually.
All the way to the coast.
Yeah. And that's where it all started. That's where Pete proposed to me. And so we really wanted to go back to that spot and just celebrate the 25 years.
And have all kinds of epic adventures along the way, which we did. We spent time in Montana, and then down into Wyoming and into Colorado for a show, which we met a lot of you. And that's always a highlight for us, is when we get to see folks that enjoy our channel and take pictures with you and hear your stories. So that was fun. And then we headed across Utah and got stuck in the mud in the mountains in Utah, kept going west, and then up into Oregon, like Carol said. So that was an amazing trip. That was fun.
Yeah, I really appreciated that trip. I mean, especially now we know that was my last trip seeing my mother.
Yeah.
And so it is really, really special thinking back on that trip, and I'm so thankful that we did it.
Yeah, we certainly didn't know at the time, but it does illustrate how important it is to spend time with your loved ones while you can, because you never know what can happen. So, with all the joys and the triumphs of 23, we had some tribulations and very, very difficult times as well, especially most recently with the loss of my sister and Carol's mother. So after that trip to Oregon, we headed all the way back across the country, back to the island, and met up with Dan, who had just spent a couple of months completely by himself, and he'll talk about how much he enjoyed that. And then and met up with Lando. He had been without us for that 2 months, I think we were away. And so we had to shut down the island and prep it for winter without us, and which we did. And then we got back in the Jeeps and we headed west again, all the way back to Montana. Yeah, that's a lot of driving. And Pete was in Montana still doing some filming with Overland, and so we reunited with Pete. Now we had the whole team together except Caroline, and we headed down to Colorado. And then what you see in the background was a very exciting part of 23.
Amazing. Definitely a game changer for us. Like it was kind of cold over Christmas, and it was raining, kind of a mixed rain of snow. And I was laying in bed, and for some reason I thought I had to go back outside or like open up the doors to go and make the coffee, which we had done for 7+ years. And that was fine. But my goodness, there's something else about just staying in your PJs and not putting on a jacket and getting up and just making your coffee and sitting there and watching the weather outside.
It's incredible.
It's like,
yeah, I mean, if you're, like we said before, and you can watch the videos where we introduced the new truck. That's what we're talking about. I'm sure you figured out the new truck. It's a Ross Monster Baja truck, and we've had it now for a month and a half or 2 months, and we absolutely love it. We've been able to get way off road with it. We haven't had, because of everything that transpired during December, we haven't been able to use it as much as we were planning, but that's what we're looking forward to in 24, is really putting the truck to the test and getting out there and doing some expeditions. We're waiting on some licensing right now, so it's hard for us to say, hey, we're going here or there, because we have to get that licensing out of the way before we can commit to going somewhere
Otherwise,
else.
we'd be sitting in Baja right now.
Yeah, we do want to go into Baja with the truck and the boys on their bikes or the Jeep or a combination of both. So there's a lot of really cool stuff ahead for 24. We just hesitate to lay out firm plans because we're waiting on all kinds of variables, which seems to be life on the road. And you know, when you watch our channel, you're looking at full-time travel and off-grid living lifestyle versus just going out on a camping trip and coming back to edit up a video. And if that's what we were doing, I mean, we could get away with the rooftop tent life or our JXLs easily. I mean, our JXLs are still a completely wonderful vehicle. And Caroline actually has Vandy with her, so she's driving that vehicle around for now. But full-time is its own ball game. It's a whole different ball game. And like you saw in the last month, we came all the way to Arizona thinking we were going to stay here for a while and do some exploring in the desert. Next thing you know, we were heading all the way back to Toronto, Canada, and then driving all the way to Oregon and back. That's, you know, several thousand miles that we didn't expect to be doing, but that's life. And we just go with the flow. And with all of that, we thank you, our audience, for your kind words and comments. And we're way behind on answering you, but we have read them all, we read them all, and we appreciate them all. And so does the family. We show them, and they read your comments and prayers and condolences, and it's heartwarming and wonderful for everybody.
Yeah, some of you even wrote some songs, some poems.
Oh my word, yeah.
And we did send them to the families and to my father, and that meant like so much to them. So thank you for doing that and taking
Somebody
the time.
composed a song, and I haven't even got back to you. I'm sorry, I'll get back to you and tell you. But if you're watching, thank you so much. It meant so much to the family. And they used it in different slideshows and memories of their mom, my sister Julia, and it just, all of this stuff combined, poems like Carol said, and just wonderful, wonderful words of encouragement and condolences. So thank you for that. So then we find ourselves coming up to the end of the year.
Yeah, and the thing is when we, went back to Ontario and to Oregon, and we saw a lot of friends and family that we hadn't seen in a long time, and that was really nice to see them. And they all kind of had the same question, asking us like why we got started or how do we like being on the road, and
why do we like it so much?
And why do we like it so much? Exactly.
That type of thing. Or
they just wanted to kind of hear how it started.
Yeah,
I guess.
And they don't watch every single video, so we've explained this before, but I had one elderly woman come up and ask me, why are you still traveling? Has this been your lifelong dream? Do you love traveling? And it struck me, that's not why we're doing this. When we set out as a father and mother of 3 preteen or just early teen kids, it wasn't for the love of traveling. It was for one reason only. We thought if we were to simplify our life down, get rid of the big house. When we had the big house, you have the big mortgage and the car and the payments on that. And for me, I had to have a full-time job, meaning I left early in the morning, came back late at night. And we just didn't want that lifestyle forever, especially while the kids were growing up. So for us, heading out on this adventure was not just for the love of traveling, even though it's super exciting. We do enjoy it. We went to be able to raise our children. I knew if I was gone all the time and Carol was gone all the time, someone else would be raising our children, their friends or their teachers, or, we just don't think the best way to raise your kids is by handing them off to someone else. So that was something we felt very strongly about, was our job. So we changed our whole lifestyle. We got rid of the big house and the mortgage with it and the fancy cars and everything, and we simplified the best we could into what we had, and we learned how to make an income on the road, and that allowed us the gift of being able to spend the last 7 years with our kids while they grew up into what they are now, which is mature, wonderful adults. And we're so proud of them, and they're each finding their way in the world. And Caroline is still working and doing service with our church. Pete, as I talked about earlier, is a professional cinematographer, and he's got all kinds of opportunities with that. And he's also our main cinematographer. So all the good looking footage that you see on our videos, you can be 100% sure that was Pete filming. And Dan, like I said, has his own channel. So for us, it's exciting, and they're working in the industry. They're using the talents that God has given them, and they're using their platform really to share with the world without even saying anything, just and maybe give hope to people that there's an awesome life that you can have if you pursue it and go for it. So talking about cameras, we are filming here, and we didn't realize, as the sun was going down, it was getting darker and darker. So sorry, some of our footage there is going to be darker than what you're seeing now, because Pete had gone away on a little walk. He came back and he fixed it for us. So anyway, what I was saying about 2024, there seems to be a lot of negativity and a lot of fear, and especially in the news, and it seems all you hear is instability. Obviously there is instability in the world. There's more wars going on than in a long time and things like that. So but we, as usual, want to keep although being aware of what's going on, keep a very positive outlook, and try not to participate in what's going on as much as possible, and push through. And I don't know, just one way to rebel against the trend of negativity is just to lead your best life and to be as positive as you can. So
Positive and smart.
And while being very smart, yeah. So we are making moves, and making sure things are in place just in case. I mean, we all went through this in 2020, and we weren't prepared back then. We had no idea something like that could even happen, where we had to leave the country, and because insurance policies were being canceled and all kinds of things like that. So yeah, we're just better prepared now, but we also are very positive and looking forward to an amazing 2024. I'm
excited to have you guys with us, and go out exploring new places. And definitely my eyes are open about just time, and we don't know if we have tomorrow.
Yeah.
So each morning is such a gift, and when you do see loved ones, to really spend the time to just listen to them and talk to them, and enjoy life, because it is so beautiful and so wonderful, and being outside is just amazing experience, and to get to walk and explore your own backyard, or other countries or states and provinces, and but I think it's just about getting out there with whatever that you have,
and whoever you have still with you.
Exactly, yeah. And even though we both lost my mother and Peter's sister, life keeps on marching on, and that's something that really hit really hard. Is you would look out your window and people are still driving by, laughing and doing things, and you're kind of sitting there going, I just lost my mom, or I lost my sister. But time does march on, and they will see us again very shortly. They'll just turn around and we'll be there when our time comes. But in the meantime, we still have so many loved ones, and all of our children, and that is such a blessed time. And I want to use my time well and to the fullest, and really enjoy and soak in every moment that I do have, and live it to the fullest and do my very best. So that's what I'm taking in the new year, is to do just that.
I love that. I feel exactly the same way, and in that same vein, probably the highlight of the whole year was having Caroline over for Christmas.
Exactly.
After being gone for so long, we got to go camping with her in the new truck, and that was just an amazing time. So
just all together again.
Yeah.
Because there's different chapters, and it's everything's always changing, which is
Kids
a good
are growing
thing.
up, which is a really
We're
good
really
thing.
excited. I keep on telling them, if they ever meet the right person, that God has planned for them, that I'm going to be the best grandmother ever. I can't wait for that. But this is the chapter we're in right now. But it was really neat to just listen to Caroline playing the guitar, teaching the boys again, and just going on our family walks and soaking in just being outside and
reminiscing on all the incredible memories we've had together over the last 7 years. So looking forward to making more memories, creating more videos for you guys in 24, and hope you stay with us, enjoy the channel throughout the year coming up.
All right, so the year of 2023 has come to an end, and it was a pretty amazing year. I hadn't really thought about all we had done until just now, as I'm trying to think of my highlights. For me, just to keep it pretty short, I would say it was the month and a half, almost 2 months that I spent alone up at our cottage. It wasn't the fact that I was alone, although that was a pretty neat experience. You know, it's something that every guy dreams about, being able to spend some time alone on a remote Canadian island with your dog. I also did a lot of camping and fishing during that time, which are two of my favorite things, and just spending time up there was really a blessing, and I really enjoyed it. We also did tons of travel in Canada this year, which is something that I always enjoy doing. I love seeing our own country, because a lot of people can focus on other ones because you don't really think about travel around the country you're from. Whenever you think of travel, you always think of other places. So it's pretty neat driving through Quebec and going into the remote northern regions up there, and it was just a lot of fun. Like I said, I enjoyed the whole time up there, but yeah, there's just so many things we did this year. It's hard to recall them all to mind. Even just recently with getting our motorcycles back, that's been a dream for a while, after we left them in storage for about 1.5 years. So to hop back on those and head out on some of these Arizona trails has been a lot of fun. I mean, 2023 has been such a great year. It's gonna be hard to beat, but I'm really excited for 2024, just because a lot of the projects that were kind of in the works during 2023 are now all finished, and we can really just enjoy everything now. I mean, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, and lots of different things we need to do still, but as far as our motorcycles are fully licensed, the truck's done building and we're testing that out now, and most of the little projects around the cabin up at the island that needed to be done just for me to be able to live there comfortably are done. And with that, I can start focusing on more things that I'm interested in. Just like with the motorcycles, now that they're licensed, I can travel around on them more and definitely show you guys some more moto vlogs, because a lot of you guys seem to like that. And while doing that, I can focus more on history and stuff rather than just logistics on getting the vehicles back. With our new truck, we just drove up to Oregon, which gave us all a great chance to really feel it out. And even with all 4 of us inside the truck, although I was sleeping in the front seats, it was actually still very comfortable. And for sleeping, I could just fully move the front seat back and lay it down almost like a bed, and it was actually quite comfortable. But other than that, it's just such a great vehicle for my parents, especially. Such a comfortable vehicle. It's like taking the RV and the Jeep and just smoshing them together. So I look forward to a lot more adventures, both with the truck, the motorcycles, and the Jeep on the road. But then also I look forward to sometime this spring, I'm going to be heading back to the island again. And now I can start focusing on making that little cabin more home-like by adding a new chimney so the fireplace will work. That's one of the reasons why we didn't do much this winter up there, is because I would have froze to death. So getting the chimney working and then getting a whole bunch of other things done. I want to get a forge up there. I don't know if that'll happen next year, but blacksmith's forge has definitely been on my bucket list. And if I do go up there, that might be something I do. But yeah, there's just a whole lot of things coming up. Lots of different plans for travel that I can't really talk about right now, of amazing locations and amazing journeys that we're kind of thinking about as a family. So 2024 is probably, at least for me and especially on my channel, going to be the best year. I feel we we really got all our systems down pat. We got all the vehicles ready and the cabins ready. So no matter what we end up doing, it's going to be great. And we can really focus on making it the best experience for us in the moment and for you guys with our videos. So yeah, we'll take you guys along with us as we see what 2024 has in store for us. 2023 was an amazing year. It's funny to be sitting here on December 31st and thinking back to last December 31st, where we were and what we were doing. We had just had Christmas up north. The lake wasn't even frozen enough for us to cross yet. I think it wasn't until a little later, like a couple weeks after Christmas, so into the new year, that we were actually even able to get the snow dogs around the rim of the lake and then finally off the lake for the very first time. In the summer of 2023, I was a part of the expedition to Africa with Expedition Overland, where we shot a 10-part series documenting our overland travels, going through a few countries I won't name, just to keep it kind of a mystery for when the series comes out. But we started in South Africa, I'll say that, and spent, I think, 61 days or 63 days traveling all around there, a crew of amazing people. I was a cinematographer on that trip with that group. I got to work with friends who I've had the pleasure of making and just growing my friendship and relationship with over the last few expeditions through places like, you know, you can't actually imagine. You see it on Nat Geo and everything, but getting to go there in person and more importantly, getting to document it, because that's one of my favorite things now. I mean, it's my job at this point, but it's more than a job. It's a lifestyle that I want to 100% adapt, and I've been working towards adapting. I mean, I'm in a great place with my family. We have been traveling now, we're in our 8th year, and we've been documenting for the last few years, but to really dive into filmmaking as a career and as a thing I love doing has been a really, 2023 really was a big step in making that dream a reality and getting to experience some of what it's like to live this lifestyle. It's a risky one. You're not as secure as in other lifestyles as a young man. It's one which, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of questions about, but I don't exactly have the answers to everything with this lifestyle, but what I can tell you is that I love it. I love everything about it. I've definitely felt like this is what God has planned for me, and what, you know, my not only career, but life is kind of getting modeled after from the time I was young now with my family, but what I'm feel in my heart and in my mind is what I want to continue pursuing is this lifestyle of travel and adventure and documenting now. So Africa was definitely top on my list. I mean, I don't like saying once in a lifetime, because I like to be able to go back and return to places, whether it's with my family or my own family or on my own. Doing more trips and overlanding in Africa is something I definitely want to do. But yeah, I mean, there's some things I can show. Like I actually bought a film camera, an old Nikon FE2 35mm film photo camera. That was kind of it sounds random, but while we were out there documenting stuff, we were in a bit of a situation when we were in Johannesburg, and we had to spend some time there, and we went around to some camera stores, and of all things I found this little camera, and it was something that was in my mind to actually pick up. I've been thinking about it for the last month or two, kind of lightly researching the subject. I thought it'd be a cool way to take photos that have this really authentic kind of cool look to them, and something you can print out and actually have. They're not just a digital photo. If anyone's seen Secret Life of Walter Mitty, the guy Sean O'Connell is kind of like just a beauty inspiration. He's a fictional character, of course, but the idea and the image that is shown through the movie of this adventurer, he's a photographer, still shoots on film in a digital world. You can never find him type idea, and you know, whenever the main character he's trying to find him throughout the whole movie, sees him, he's like on a plane flying into a volcano that's erupting to get photos, or I don't know. But yeah, that image of Sean O'Connell kind of inspired the photo cam. I just thought that'd be cool, and that was also a part of 2023, and in particular the Africa trip. It's not a full trailer yet. It's a teaser to the trailer of the Africa series. It's a really cool little 45-second or 50-second trailer. And I've heard that more of them are going to be coming out in the future, so look forward to that. I'm dying to see this stuff because being a camera guy, I saw all of Africa through a screen, through a monitor. I was shooting from the time I woke up to the time I went to sleep. It made me see it in a very unique and cool way, but to be able to see what the lens was truly seeing, because I could see a small either 2.5 inch or maybe a 5-inch screen at most of almost every place you can think of that we went on, I was looking at just through that screen. So to be able to see a trailer of like the wide image and how the colors actually were and all its glory is a really fun thing for me. Even that 30-second teaser really made me excited for what's going to be coming out next. So definitely stay tuned for the Africa series at X Overland. I believe it'll be launched first on their network, which is the Overlander Network, and then it'll come out on YouTube. I don't know the dates for that, but I'm eagerly awaiting any updates on when that series is coming out. 2023 was an incredible year. I mean, we're here in Arizona. We got a brand new truck. I can still barely believe it's such an amazing rig. It's perfect for my parents. It's perfect for me. I want one really bad too. But it's a real world traveling vehicle, and we are so excited to be able to put it through its paces. It's an amazing company. We met all the guys, or a lot of the guys in Colorado, where these things are built, where they were designed, and they're all around amazing vehicles. Even in the short time that we've had them, they're incredible, and we can't wait to take them around America, around Canada, and around the world. And that's leading into 2024, which is tomorrow. I am so excited for what's in store with 2024, what we can do. We have a lot of ideas. We always do. Some of them change based off of things in the world, or just life happens, as we've seen over the last few weeks. Life can really hit you with a curveball sometimes out of the blue, but our plans are exciting. They're going to be fun. I can't wait for any of them. If any one of them works out, we're going to have a great year in 2024. So a few of you may follow Adventure Guys, which is a channel Daniel and I started. My idea for Adventure Guys is to, I don't know, shoot cool stuff. I haven't fully decided what to do, but that will mostly be me, and whether that's just me on my own or me with Dan or me with my whole family is yet to be seen. But there's going to be a lot of really cool adventures coming on Adventure Guys, Epic Family Road Trip, and Dan Van Strellen in 2024.
And in the meantime, we'll see you down the road.